Yeah, it's extremely important because otherwise, like you say, we're just guessing. And we don't want to waste time and resources just guessing. So it's going to sound crazy, but the easiest way to find out what a customer actually wants is to ask them. Uh, and then they'll tell you, usually, if you ask in the right way. So a customer surveys is just the most basic thing. Actually, probably the most basic thing is an NPS survey. So, like right after they've bought or right
Yeah.
after they've received their product, ask them if they would recommend to a customer, to a friend or family or peer.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good indication of how they feel. And then you can ask them follow up with more specific questions. How was your experience? Did it do what you liked, what you wanted it to do? Did it work as expected? Was it easy? Pretty basic questions. And really, truly asking will get you so much more information. But a lot of people just aren't thinking about asking the questions.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the CVO Live. It's my pleasure and honor to have here Nichelle. Hi, Nichelle. How's it going?
Hi, it's going great. Happy to be
It's
here.
going great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything's great.
Now that the mic and audio settings are working, everything is great. Yeah. So, Nichelle, first of all, tell us where you're connecting from, and let our audience know about a bit about how you've got into the e-commerce game and what you do right now.
It's a long story, but I'll try to keep it shorter. So I'm the founder and CEO of an agency called And Bam. We do email, we do SMS, and we do loyalty programs. So everything to do with customer retention and messaging, we're doing that. Um, I'm based in Canada. The team's mostly based in Canada, but we work with companies all over the world. And we're working with e-commerce brands from really small startups all the way up to 2 to 5 million a month, which is still a little small on the e-commerce size, but uh, we have a lot of fun, and that's our sweet spot where you're trying to get to know the customers and treat them well, so you can grow into a bigger brand.
Yeah.
What else did you ask me there?
How you've got into the e-commerce space at the beginning.
How we
So,
got into e-commerce. Truthfully, I was working in marketing. I had a job in insurance. It was so boring. I just knew there had to be something better out there. So instead of like the old insurance market, I just went online and started looking for other opportunities. And it started with me doing email by myself. And now we have a team of about 20 people, and we're all just living our best lives.
that's fantastic. So we have a common background. I've worked into insurance for a lot of years. Actually,
Really?
I used to sell life insurance. It was back in the I was like I think I was 19 years old. I needed to make some money, and AIG, American International Group, got into Romania here, and they made this. I was really poor, and they made this announcement that they are hiring and training future leaders in sales of the future. Something like that, very bombastic. And I got there, and but they said that I need to have a jacket, so I need to have like a suit, and I couldn't actually afford it. I was a student at that time, really poor. So I bought a second-hand jacket, and I got there. I got to be pumped up by the future.
Yeah.
It was those sleeves were too long, because I couldn't find something on my measure, and that's how I started my career into selling life insurance. It lasted for 6 weeks. I was calling, I was spamming via phone people
The
from yellow
original.
pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my adventure in life insurance. And after that, I don't know, 7, 8 years afterwards, I've started an online car insurance company. So we got to be the market leader here in Romania. So
Awesome.
yeah,
And now
it
look at us,
wasn't boring.
not a suit in sight.
Yeah, no suit
Yeah, that's the way to go.
needed on this new job that we're having here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nichelle, I wanna ask you something regarding the customer value optimization. I had this aha moment a few years ago. Was that, you know what, with email you either acquire new customers or you either retain customers, and the end goal is not, I don't know, open rate or whatever. The end goal is to have happy customers, and email is one of the best channels to do so. And I want to have your opinion over how email is affecting customer lifetime value for e-commerce companies, and why do you think this is a good instrument? Because it's clear that you're doing something well if you are now surrounded by 19 other people which are doing email for e-commerce companies.
Yeah. I have a confession to make though. We didn't always care about customer lifetime value in the beginning. So the agency is 5 years old.
Yeah,
And in the beginning, we worked with a lot of drop shipping companies, and the model there was just make as much money as you can as fast as you can, and keep putting new people into the pipeline, sell them more
yeah,
stuff, and then kind of forget about them. And email can be great for that. Email converts people to buyers, no matter no matter what. But as ad costs went up and customers started getting more sophisticated, it just didn't make sense to churn and burn anymore, those customers. So that's when we started really focusing on getting repeat customers and getting multiples of value out of people after they buy the first time. And we turn them into lifetime customers and they buy over and over again. And it's just beautiful to see to see if a store is providing, if a brand is providing value to the customers are just delighted. They'll stick around for a long time.
yeah. You've said something, and I want to pause a second to unpack this. I have this habit from Bob Merster, let's unpack stuff. It's like he's always into unpacking things. You've said that if you provide value, then the customers will come back, and I think the important aspect is how you understand if you provide value. I mean, what do you do for your customer, with your customers, to make sure that they are providing value?
Sure. Well, it depends on the customer.
Yeah,
Different customers need different things. Uh, Different people in different parts of the journey need different values. So for someone who has not bought yet with your brand, um, value to them might look like help choosing the right product. For someone who's a lifetime customer and has bought multiple times, value to them could look like a joke that makes them laugh, like entertain them. If they already like you don't have to keep pushing and pushing. Just remind them that you care about them, and that's value to those people. So it's really about, if we're going to unpack it, it's really about understanding your customers, all of your different customer segments, all of the different places that they are in their journeys, and just meeting them where they are.
yeah. I think it's an important aspect, and many, let's say, email marketers are are actually spending their lives into this trap that thinking that customer research is for other departments or for other channels or for other people within the company. And I want to focus a bit on this customer research part because it's a valuable thing if you think about it, you're guessing a lot in as a marketer,
Yeah.
but you don't have to guess all this time, right? You can also know what's all about. And I wanna understand a bit, how do you see customer research and how important is in your process?
Mhm. Yeah, it's extremely important because otherwise, like you say, we're just guessing. And we don't want to waste time and resources just guessing. So it's going to sound crazy, but the easiest way to find out what a customer actually wants is to ask them. Uh, and then they'll tell you, usually, if you ask in the right way. So customer surveys is just the most basic thing. Actually, probably the most basic thing is an NPS survey. So, like right after they've bought or right
Yeah,
after they've received their product, ask them if they would recommend to a customer, to a friend or family or peer.
yeah,
That's a pretty good indication of how they feel. And then you can ask them follow up with more specific questions. How was your experience? Did it do what you liked, what you wanted it to do? Did it work as expected? Was it easy? Pretty basic questions. And really, truly asking will get you so much more information. But a lot of people just aren't thinking about asking the questions.
yeah. It's if you think about it, it's such an easy instrument, and it's such an impactful instrument. Simply asking customer what it's all about. And I want to share a story here from a customer of ours that we were struggling to to make to make him realize how his whole marketing was, let's say, shooting in the dark. We asked about this their ideal customer profile,
Mhm.
and they thought that there are professionals. They were selling digital cameras and video cameras and whatever, and it was I think it was like 5-6 years ago. And we asked the customer, what customers, who are your customers? So they are professional photographers. That's who our best customers are. But how do you know that? Well, we look at the products that they are buying, and it's clear that nobody buys this product if they are not, I don't know, doing some gigs with this. They were selling Nikon, whatever, with these lenses and sophisticated things. But are you sure about that? Yeah, of course we know that. And all their speech was not about photographing as a hobby, but it was like, professionals, you know what you're doing. Guess what? After we, let's say, persuaded and convinced them into asking on the thank you page if they are a professional photographer, or if this is just a hobby and whatever, 65% of their sales were coming from amateurs. There were people which were investing like crazy in these digital cameras. And I think customer research is not affecting only the email as a channel, but it's affecting the whole marketing, because once you know who your customers are and why they buy, it's well more easier to get into a position to actually be relevant, because it's another trap is to to be to think that you need to be creative, to be
Yeah.
over creative. And it's the lack of creativity that's stopping you to deliver value, but it's not always that. I mean, it's clear that being creative is a fantastic thing, but if you're creative in the wrong direction with the wrong message, you're just, I don't know, that's a cool message, but that's it. Nobody's gonna buy things just because they think that you had the creative email sequence, right?
Mhm. Yeah, and I can add to that with a client that I was talking to yesterday. They wanted to do Elon Musk memes, which I think is hilarious. I love to keep up with what Elon Musk is, what his shenanigans of the moment are. But for this particular brand, it's about dog treats, and so the people actually buying the dog treats are usually women, mothers, not people who are hanging out on Twitter following Elon.
Yeah.
So again, understanding who your customer is really really important. The same brand started on Kickstarter, where, as you probably know, it's a lot of early adopters, people who are really into tech, early inventions and things like that. So moving into the D2C space from Kickstarter is completely different audience, completely different messages.
Yeah. Uh, I want to ask you something, Nichelle, regarding the how you are relevant to the customers, and I want to touch the subject of RFM segmentation, because it's, from my opinion, it's an underrated, undervalued technique to actually know your customers. And let me know how your perception about RFM has been developed throughout the time, and what your thoughts are about this type of segmentation.
For sure. Yeah. I think in if I think about how our segmentation strategy has evolved, we started 5 years ago just sending emails to everyone that we had an email for. And it was really just like, buy this thing, uh, it's on sale. If you don't have it already, then you should buy it. That kind of evolved once we were thinking about deliverability and sender reputation. Then we started segmenting based on engagement in email. So if they've opened an email or clicked an email in the last 30 days or 90 days, then they get that message.
Yeah.
Now, though, what we understand is there's so much more data, and we every time a customer or pre-customer interacts with your website, you learn more about them. Not only that they were on the site, but what they were looking at, and how many times they looked at things. And so, as customers become more sophisticated, and as we get more data from the customers, it just opens up the possibilities for segmentation and personalization. So with RFM segmentation, which I'm assuming everyone maybe listening is familiar with, but it stands for
Hopefully.
frequency and monetary value. That's when we really understand the value of each customer, and how we should be treating each of them. So we can send really, really targeted messages that really hit the segments where we need to, without sending the wrong message to other people. Because like I said before, if you have a VIP customer who buys over and over again really regularly, you don't want to interrupt their experience with your brand by sending them like discounts on clearance items, for example. It just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's right. And maybe an important thing here, Nichelle, is that uh, I do know from our past conversations that you are looking to craft different customer journeys based on the RFM, and I think that's doing the heavy lifting, because while many email marketing agencies are having their flows and they keep on updating them and they keep on blasting the databases, you are crafting this type of some sort of evergreen campaigns according to transitions from the RFM groups, and I think that's a very impactful thing that maybe we can discuss more about.
Sure. Yeah, I don't want to give away all our secrets, but
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it only makes sense because you would prefer to have a whole list full of customers that absolutely love you compared to like a full list of customers who have already churned. It just doesn't make sense. So we want to get as many customers as we can from from like their first purchase or not even their first purchase into like extremely loyal customers. And so if we can map the way that a customer gets there, then we just can guide them through that journey, usually,
Yeah,
with enough data and testing.
that's right. In terms of the relevancy, I think it's an it's an important aspect that I want to touch this subject together with you. There are uh, there are many email marketing strategies around onboarding, which is one of the main CVO campaigns. To After acquisition, you have the onboarding, which means making sure that the customers are onboarded properly. And I want to touch the subject of what's the purpose of the onboarding campaigns. I mean, from your opinion, of course, we have various brands with various products, but I think many email marketing agencies are missing the whole point of onboarding, because they turn them into discount campaigns or into reactivation campaigns, even though the customers were not using the products or they haven't felt the value that they are getting from the products. And I want to touch a bit the subject of why do we do email onboarding campaigns? What's the purpose of those campaigns from your opinion?
So when you're talking onboarding campaigns, you mean like a post-purchase, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly. The first email campaigns that
mhm.
a brand is sending to the customers right after the first purchase. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to understate how important that is. Uh, if a customer doesn't use your product and doesn't get the value out of it, there's absolutely zero chance they're ever going to buy again.
Yeah,
So, you need to make sure that a customer gets the product, they're happy with the product, they use the product, and they get whatever result it is. If they don't take those steps, they're never going to buy again.
yeah,
So as soon as, or even before the product is delivered, it's up to you to start setting the stage for when it arrives. What's the first thing you need to do? Does it have to be refrigerated? I was talking to a client just the other day, and actually in their onboarding flow, they had don't forget to refrigerate your product. It's a like vegan dip um, consumable product. As soon as you get it, you should refrigerate it. However, that message came something like 5 days after delivery, and that's a total mismatch because you can imagine if you have some vegan queso and it arrives and it sits in the box for 5 days and then you get a message to refrigerate it.
oh, by the way,
It
put it
doesn't
put it
work,
in the fridge.
right? So
Yeah,
it has to be the more specific and the more timely you can make it, the better. But the goal is to make sure they have that really great first experience. So
yeah,
if you can time the delivery of the messages with the delivery of the product, awesome. And there's lots of ways to do that. If there's some particular setup that you need, for example, I have a client product right here. You open the box, the first thing you get is a QR code, and it says like, "Stop! Don't do anything until you do this. Look at this code." Because it has a setup video on it, and like before they had that, 90% of people actually broke the product before they ever got to use it. So that's an example of like you don't want people breaking your product before they get to use it. Uh, of course, I suggested to him that you can put that in an email too, so that because when you get the box and you open it, you don't want to go look at a video. You want to like get your hands on the thing, right?
yeah.
If we put it in an email and it arrives before the product, then it sets the stage so that once you get it, you have a really good experience.
Yeah, I think it's amazing that indeed the email onboarding campaigns that could work on other channels as well. Their role indeed is to build momentum, to build expectations, to set the expectations properly, to instruct the customers into how to use or how to consume the product, what they will do, and it's a lot about their desired outcome. For instance, we have. I had a chat yesterday with someone from a brand which they were selling products for ladies trying to get pregnant. Some sort of devices so that they can time the moment to conceive a baby, and it struck me that they don't have something like a success rate, because that's why those ladies are buying those products. I mean, it's the baby which is the desired outcome. Nobody wants your product. It's the
You're,
final,
yeah,
the
you're
final
right.
thing is having a baby, and they had no success stories about, I don't know, in 6 months you'll get pregnant because timing, the moment to conceive it, and whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
those stories are what you need to do. And also, another thing is that the ex-lovers, let's say the customers which were from a perspective they were churned because they haven't used the product. Guess what? The ex-lovers were actually customers that made it, and that's why they haven't
Right.
continued
Yeah.
to buy the product, but they don't have any kind of success rate. And it's kind of let's say vital to understand what is the desired outcome of this product. Why do you buy this product? What's the end goal? And then nurture the relationships and train and document and FAQ and whatever you do with your email marketing campaign, so that the customers are making progress in their lives. Because if they are not using it properly, they are not repeat buyers, one thing, and another thing is that they will be disappointed. I mean, there's no advocacy from those customers, and basically that's an amazing fact that you've stated as well. I mean, with that customer, stop before you do anything, but they were already there
Mhm.
with the product, indeed. Going further with another type of CVO campaign, Nichelle, going to the prevention campaigns, right? So we have customers that bought, I don't know, 3 times. They usually bought every 3 weeks, and now there are, I don't know, 2 months since they haven't placed an order. I think, and I want to touch this important subject because I want to demystify the fact that discounts always work, and I think this is it's the most used tool. I mean, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? And discount campaigns, discount at this
Yeah.
moment, and then at that moment, and then at the other moment, and people will come back and buy again. But what are your thoughts on the prevention campaigns and how to make those work from your perspective?
Yeah, I like the if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. I usually say firing off discount campaigns is like trying to kill a mosquito with a bazooka, because it's not it's not the right approach all the time. There are more sophisticated ways to do it. I think so. I would love to see people we already said this, asking their customers more questions. I think I see a lot of owners who they're in a digital business, right? So it's easy to forget that they're just people. Your customers are just people. um, and you can talk to them. You should talk to them. You can just ask them like, "Hey, what's up?" um, and we really like to use in a prevention campaign as really simple text-based email, actually just asking how they're doing and what's up. You can get if it depends on a lot of things. But if, say, in your example, they bought 3 times, they bought at full price 3 times, a discount isn't the right tactic, right?
Yeah.
Um, so you have to find out, if they bought 3 times, They understand the product value at least the second time and the third time. Um, they trust you because they've spent money with you over and over again. You have to find out what changed. So like a customer service based email or an automated email that looks customer service based is a really good place to start. Anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like what happened, what's going on, doing this kind of relationship. It's a great endeavor, and it was that saying that the best way to cure a disease is to prevent it. And maybe you could have been doing this every 3 weeks, I mean, to have these timed based email campaigns which are triggered based on the last number of days since the last purchase. And I have this example here with which is handy. I have bought my daughter. She's now a teenager, and she's buying this all sorts of things for her skin, and she's testing a lot of things. And I was looking at the way they are the cosmetics, the beauty company, they are tricking her into buying again. And I noticed something very nice. They had these cards where you need to tick some boxes. It takes 8 weeks to get to your to the best skin that you have, but this is going to last only 2 weeks. I mean, and they gave her these tricks, and basically setting the right expectations is important, because maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I'm not accusing that beauty company. I think they've done a great job at preventing, but it was a small card attached to the product, and letting her know that the right dosage and the right timing is for 8 weeks. I mean, don't expect for fantastic results now that you've bought only for 2 weeks out of this process. And I think companies are forgetting these techniques, because you can blend other channels. You have the package inserts, you have the emails, you have the ads as well, and the last resort, you can pick up the phone and call the customer if you can afford that, or you can send some SMS campaigns, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you really have to consider how people are using the product. And is it a daily product? Like, I talked to one guy last week who sells windshield wipers for cars. How often do you buy windshield wipers for your car? Once a year?
Once a lifetime, maybe.
whenever they fall apart. So, you have to adjust your messaging to whatever makes sense for the life cycle of the product as well.
Yeah, which is this parameter, which is called the ADBT, average days between transactions, and which, of course, nobody is measuring, or everyone is ignoring it, however you want to put it. And I guess that's an important aspect, timing the pace. And I want to touch this subject of when do you need to send this type of email campaigns? I mean, what's the pace from your perspective, Nichelle? What's the right pace? What's the best way to have the cadence that's not intrusive or not absent?
The answer is always it depends. That's a really, really tough question. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, my perception is that you need to time to test. Always be testing. Like you can have different cohorts and see what's the engagement for. I don't know, get 500 customers and send them every week, because that's the dogma, the email marketing dogma is send the newsletter every 7 days. Or with the other 500, maybe you can accelerate the pace at the beginning so that you make sure that they are using the product, and then looking at when the purchase is more likely to happen, prevent them, help them know that maybe it's time for a restock, maybe it's time to change it and whatever. I mean, it's clear that subscription based brands are doing this, and that's the holy grail of an e-commerce brand, to have predictability, and you know that you buy a toothbrush every, I don't know, 5 weeks, 4 weeks. I've been to the dentist yesterday, and I thought that they have a missed opportunity there, to buy a subscription and to ship you these things.
Yeah, that would be great actually. If a toothbrush would arrive at my house whenever I needed to change it, that would help a lot with like changing over of the toothbrushes for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I mean, there are so many variables, but you really have to think about if you have an average days between transactions, if you know that, and it used to be really hard to get, and now if you use some tools like, I don't know, OmniConvert, for example, that makes it a lot easier to get that information. So if you have the information, it's right there. You can easily, it's like so easy compared to the olden days, understand when someone should be about to buy again,
Yeah.
and make sure that the messaging what leading up to that point in time matches their intent or what we want them to do. Um, it's the whole one email per week depends completely. Like, would you want to get one email a week from a windshield wiper company? No.
I'm not answering that. Yeah. Thank God
Yeah.
for the unsubscribe link.
Yeah, and again, you have to consider if someone's bought before, what information do they need to make their first purchase versus what you need to do to lead them to their second purchase. They're very, very different things. Same with third and fourth, and it changes. So there's no one size fits all, and I can't say that you should always be sending one email per week, even though I get paid to send emails. I will not say that, because it depends. It really does.
Yeah, love it. So, Nichelle, regarding the process that you're having now with your customers, what's exciting for you right now? Because it's clear that you're in a great space. It's clear that now, after the bloodbath or during the bloodbath, which is happening on the acquisition side of things, where ROAS it's old, and it's sick and it's not doing too well. Uh, Maybe it's clear that you're in an exciting space, and let us know what's exciting for you right now in working with your clients and doing what you do.
Yeah, I think the the acquisition bloodbath has really made people open their eyes to like customers, the value of customers that you already have. And honestly, what we're most excited about is that we get to have fun and really connect with the customers. Because before we had a bunch of data, we didn't know what to do with it. And now we have a really clear goal, and it's to make sure that we maximize or optimize the lifetime value of the customer. And I think there's a mindset shift happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
in what it is that will optimize that lifetime value. And it's not sending sales, and it really can be entertainment or relationship building, and communication. And it doesn't have to be just one way, like blasting messages. We want it to feel organic. And that's a whole new challenge for a lot of brands that have spent years and years and years thinking about, what do I want to say to the customer? I want to sell this new SKU, so I'm going to send them that. What we're doing and what we're really excited about is starting from the customer. So starting from the segment, like, what do I want this person to experience from the brand, and how can we deliver that experience? and that's what I'm hyped about.
Yeah, talking about the uh, customer experience and talking about this customer research, I think it's fantastic, and you are the living proof that email agencies are becoming way more complex, and the services are going towards customer centricity, towards being data driven. And my prediction is that without proper customer research, brands will actually disappear. And, it was this hype about direct to consumer brands, but now that it's so expensive to acquire customers that never come back, and you're not profitable on acquiring them, it's clear that the customers, the companies which will survive and thrive, will be the ones that know exactly what the customers are after and deliver on their promise. I want to ask you something regarding the how you see the future of email marketing yourself. I mean, where do you want to go? What's your what kind of companies do you want to work with? What's next for NBAM and over there at your agency?
Have you? There's a rumor floating around that email is dead. Have you heard that?
Yeah, it, it's an old rumor, but I'm
Yeah,
hearing it. Yeah.
I've heard it a few times. I email is not going anywhere for sure, but what we are seeing more and more is that people are using it in different ways, and I feel, and we're working on getting the proof, but I think that social media is training people to use their email differently, because in it used to be you go into your email, you click on the first email, you read it, and you go to the next one and the next one. Now I have 600 emails in my inbox, and I just scroll through to see if I see anyone who I think I might want to hear from.
Yeah.
So um, the way that we're looking at email is that it's really relationship based. If someone sees your name in their list of emails that they've received today, are they going to be like, yes, I need to see what this brand is putting out today? Or is it just going to get lost in the crowd? And the way to do that is to build the relationship with the content through value, through entertainment. Um, Not necessarily discounts all the time, but like when it's appropriate, discounts too. Um, that's how I see email going. I think it's going to become more visual. We already have the Gmail AMP program that is changing what the inbox looks like. Um, and I just think that that's going to continue to evolve. Um, then we're going to also see something with SMS that we're already starting to see kind of like a saturation in my text messages. I don't know about yours, um,
Yeah.
but we're also going to see some of the same things, like not just we can't just blast out messages blindly. It's it's getting it's just getting too much. The novelty is worn off, right? So the more personal or personalized the messages become, then the better it will work out for everyone.
Yeah. In I have a last topic that I wanna address together with you today, Nichelle, which is around something which many companies are neglecting, which are the reactivation campaigns. I mean, you have your customers that are long gone. You keep on bombarding them with their with your newsletter, with your news, with your discount campaigns and whatever. What's your what's your take on that? We had some conversation about this topic, but what I think it's important to understand what is the purpose of reactivation campaigns and how to make those actually work.
Yeah, I mean, reactivation campaigns are very interesting because they've stopped responding for some reason, right? So I think it depends on what you know about the people in general. Like, have they bought things before? Have they um, bought a lot and kind of churned out, or have they never bought and or only bought once and had a bad experience? So you have to come at it from a few different directions. Um, of course, as I said a few times, ask. Ask and give them the opportunity to manage preferences. Give them the opportunity to uh, tell you what they want to hear. If they're not interested in your weekly email newsletter, don't send them the email weekly newsletter. If they're only interested in discounts, if they say they're only interested in discounts, that's great because then they've self-identified themselves. They said this is exactly what I want, and you can send them exactly what they want.
Yeah,
Even though like maybe you don't want to have a segment of people who only like discounts, if you know you have a segment of people who only like discounts, then you know what they want, they're more likely to engage. So I'm really, really, really bullish on managed preferences. Um, I think that's something that is very underutilized. Just and again, though, it just comes down to asking customers to identify what they want.
yeah, which means collecting zero-party data, uh, understanding and using, leveraging it down the line so that you are basically relevant. I think it's also an important topic to address here is the fact that reactivation campaigns are having, of course, the same treatment. It's like you have the universal remedy for everything. It's a discount, and it's like we're running out of ideas and everything. It's like everyone is waiting for that $20 voucher, and then they will be long-term customers as well. We we have this experience with this one-two punch campaign, like preventing, warning them that you know that you're gone, and we know that you're gone, and that means getting uh, into a position to earn the attention for tomorrow when you're gonna say something to them, and then in the last email, in the second email, instead of giving them something, treating their disease, actually asking them what kind of things stop them from buying again, and preparing for each of those. I don't know, let's say 5 reasons that might happen. I don't know, I'm pissed off, I've simply forgot about you, your products are crappy. Of course, you can't do pretty much about it unless you've changed your products, but that's another story. Or I don't know, another reason could be you're too expensive, and that's the only moment when you're justified to give them a discount. Or last time you shipped the product too late, and then you can give them, you can come up with the treatment. The fact is that once you know that, then you can reactivate them. If you don't know that, it's like being a doctor. As an email marketing agency, you're a doctor, and all the patients that are coming, you have the same treatment for them. Uh, you don't even listen to them. Yeah, I know what you want. It's like robots, talking. Yeah, have a seat. Here's your treatment. Goodbye. Next. Here's your treatment. Next. It's like you can't do this. And I think we have, as a market, as an industry, we need to get out of that zone, because we're not immature. We need to grow up, and we need to level up our strategies, and that means becoming conscious incompetent, right? to to be aware that we have done it wrong, so that we do it better in the future. But of course, that takes time and energy. That also means that you need to change, which is the enemy of progress, right?
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. I mean, the number one thing here in everything we talked about today is relevance. If we know what the customer is thinking and we know what their experience is, then we can react to that. But it can't just be us pushing out and guessing and thinking and here's what I think is going to be the answer to the problem. It really has to be find out what the customer is thinking and say something relevant back.
Yeah, that's that's right. All right. So if we don't have any questions from our LinkedIn audience, I think we can wrap it up. Nichelle, tell us if people want to get in touch with you, where they can find you. Are you on social media? Are you on Twitter? Are you on LinkedIn? Where do you spend your
Ooh.
time?
Yeah, I'm not big into Twitter, but I am on LinkedIn quite a bit. So you can find me there, or you can hop over to our website andbam.co. And if you chat in the little chat box, you will get me. And, and we can have a conversation about anything that we talked about here today. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Then, Nichelle, thanks a lot for being today with us. And may you have a good day ahead there in Toronto. We are
Thank
finishing it over here in Europe. And for you out there, we'll see each other at the next episode. And if you want to get in touch with us, let us know on LinkedIn as well, because we are LinkedIn fans, not on Twitter too much.
Perfect. Thanks, Valentin. It's great.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Nichelle.
Bye.